Welp, here we are on YouTube, about to watch something that is debuting, never been seen before. You saw it here first, folks. Premiering on, or am I wrong?
Well, no, you're sort of the edit version. This edited version. This stuff is available on YouTube per se, but Ellie, it's a Patreon request from Ellie. She pieced it together. She created this edit from stuff online, so people have seen it. But she's like, I like this video, I like this song, I like this interview, and she pieced it together to make her own little special. Is that right, Ellie? Am I getting that right? You made your own little
the Nile special.
Doc special. Nile. This is a performances from Nile. Mm-hmm. Have we heard any of these songs yet? I meant to ask you before we started recording. I'm sorry. Have we heard any of the songs we're about to hear on this performance? And it's with it's also with the RTE Orchestra. Mm-hmm. So they're a very famous orchestra, I believe, in Ireland. So they're a famous orchestra there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I imagine we've probably heard at least one of the songs already, but we're just waiting for Ellie to tell us.
Well, Ellie will tell us, but we can hit play and just start watching. So that's the background. Really, it's just Nile live with an orchestra, and there's some interview stuff as well. And yeah, she said kind of. It was an hour long. She doesn't think we've heard any of the songs from this thing that she put together yet, so this might be for first time listens.
Okay.
And she said this should knock out at least 3 requests for songs. I see. Okay. All right. Well, here we go.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Just your attention, please. Thank you very much for being here. I'd just like to a warm welcome, please. Very special guest, Mr. Niall Horan. And band.
And it's lovely. You have played sold-out stadiums all over the world. All the performances you've done, all the award shows. Am I right in saying you've never performed with the full orchestra?
Ever. Something that obviously, everyone wants to do. Something that I've always wanted to do all my life. Not saying that I didn't want to play stadiums, but and I did have the opportunity to do that. But this is completely different. Proper musicians, all 45 of them. It's just going to be epic.
Good for him. That's cool. Calling it proper musicians. That was kind of cool.
But anyway, I just want to say massive thanks. This is huge. It's something that I wanted to do for a while, and to play
very
with this
snazzy
orchestra,
suit. Yeah,
because,
I like his outfit.
You're definitely renowned. So it's a real honour for all of us to come and play here, and especially in Ireland for me. This is huge. So appreciate it, and let's have a bit of fun. Yeah. On a nervous scale, 1 to 10, 1 being singing on your own in your bedroom in your underpants, and 10 being Croke Park sold out home crowd. Where are you?
Why did they bring up underpants?
Pretty close to Croker, yeah.
As we're recording today, was it today the 8-year anniversary?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday was the 8-year anniversary of you auditioning for X Factor.
Okay.
Which is mad, isn't it? I remember standing there, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, waking up and going down to Croke Park and queuing there for hours and hours and hours, and then last night when I arrived, I drove past the convention centre where I did the TV audition. And it's just now that it's an 8-year thing, you're just oh, memories. But it's madness to think what can happen in 8 years. I was 16. I'm 25 this year.
Did anyone ever sit you down? Because you became so famous and so wealthy so quickly. Did anyone ever sit you down?
It's very interesting to hear him talk. He sounds nervous a little bit. He sounds a little bit gassed in his responses, and not. I mean, this isn't a criticism, but it's an observation. It just seems like he's, I'm answering questions, and it's interesting that he's, I would say, almost shy-ish. But you wouldn't think he'd be shy. This guy has played and sung live in front of tens and tens of thousands of people. But this one-on-one interview is very he seems to be sweating a bit.
My take on that is this: he's in his own country, and I kind of perceive. Good example is a band, Nickelback, which I'm not a fan of. But when Nickelback started to become famous at first, it was because they're from Alberta, from here in Alberta. When they started to become famous, people in Alberta were oh, that's kind of cool. But it kind of became cool. It was early on, it was cool to make fun of Nickelback. And I would imagine the guy, I can't remember his name, Chad Kroger. Oh, okay. You know his name, okay.
Oops, sorry about that. Go ahead.
He, if he were to come back to Alberta to try and here we are, Nickelback, I bet he'd be sweating bullets, but just because of like how hard it would be to be, around the people that you grew up with and trying to like still do the thing that you do everywhere else where you don't care who the people are. But back home, it's like all these people know me, or at least they all sound like me, and it'd be nerve-wracking, I think.
Okay, that's a interesting take. If you want to hear me rant again, send me some Nickelback songs.
We'll both do that. Yeah.
Holy smokes! Yeah, Nickelback, the James Corden of rock and roll. All right,
here we go.
All right,
Here we go.
Here we go.
Your life has changed now forever. Here's some tips and tricks on how to handle it, or do you just have to stumble through it?
No, it's kind of like the music industry is an industry that there's no book for it. Like you don't everyone's experience is different. Some people lose the plot. I don't think I have. And I don't know. I kind of put it down to my upbringing. I don't need to spend a lot of money. I have it, but I don't have to go around splashing cash all the time just for the sake of it.
Never tempted to buy a Lamborghini and
110% not.
Yeah.
I'd be the same way. That's just ridiculous. I wouldn't want to do that either.
It's like flick a switch in your head and think you're Billy Big Nuts.
Billy Big Nuts.
Overnight, just because.
I want that nickname. Hey, Billy Big Nuts.
It's a very Irish thing, anyway, to be quite level-headed and not have that sort of an ego.
do you miss the frenzy at all of One Direction? Because right now there's fans outside, there's people everywhere you go, but in the 1D days, you were shutting off blocks.
Oh, people refer to that as a 1D?
Okay. You couldn't get out, there was police escorts everywhere. Are you glad that kind of frenzy has subsided, or do you kind of miss it in a weird way?
Sometimes you miss it. Like, there's no better feeling than stepping on stage to 85,000 people.
Interview. Are you happy you're not popular anymore? I know. It's like, are you happy fans aren't following you around anymore? No, I know. It's just it's probably not the best way to. I would have asked the question of like, what's life like now outside of One Direction? How are fans now outside? Just let him answer the question. Like, he just assumed that they're not. I would assume he's just as famous as he was, per se. But granted, it's not about him. It's like the whole band together draws everybody. Yeah. So now you could argue he draws a fifth of those fans. They fall, they all been split apart. But I just would have worded a little bit different. I would have said,
I'm guessing he draws a little more than a fifth.
No, that's the point. Is what I'm saying is, by nature, there will be some splitting, and then he won't get all the same amount of fans as One Direction got collectively. The same as the Beatles weren't as popular separately. Right. Like, John Lennon was never as popular as he was in the Beatles. Like, the hysteria isn't the same. Yeah. But I just would have asked that a little bit differently. This is just the interview. You know me, I do some podcast interviews and stuff. I would have said, hey, what's it like outside of One Direction now? How's life different? Yeah. How are things different? Going to the store, is it better or easier, harder? How's it different? That's all. Yeah. All right.
But then again, there's no better feeling than stepping on stage in front of 3,000, 4,000, or the O2 or the 3 Arena in Dublin, 10, 11,000 people. There's no better feeling. But, the whole, when you're 18, 19, and you're still a teenager, and you've got thousands of people outside your hotel, I always struggled to understand why. What I mean? I wanted to go shopping, or go and play football somewhere, or I don't know, we'd end up sitting in
You mean soccer or anything?
Oh, really?
It's all great fun now. You look back and you're like, Jesus, that's a bit mad, isn't it? But at the time,
his accent's heavier.
A little bit frustrating.
He's in his home. He's in his home country.
Yeah. So I'm kind of, in that way, I'm kind of glad that it's kind of died down a touch. So maybe next time when I go back to those countries, I'll be able to mosey out and have a look around, and that's what I have been able to do so far.
One more straight off the bat of that, please. Too much to ask. One more time. Here we go. It's a great groove. I'm watching you with your little swagger. It's great. Okay, here we go. One more time,
that
please.
Guy?
Thank you.
Is that Billy Big
Nuts? That's Billy Big Nuts. I think he's conducting the.
Waiting here for someone. Only yesterday we were on the run. You smiled back at me and your face lit up the sun. Now I'm waiting here for someone. And oh, do you feel this right? Why is it only you I'm thinking? Shadows dancing without you for the first time. My heart is open, but you walk right in tonight and tell me there are things that you regret. 'Cause if for me it all is like you'll be here. That's all I'm asking. You're too much to ask. You're too much to ask. Someone's moving outside. The lights come on down the drive. I forget you're not even close my eyes. Do you still think of me sometimes? Oh, love, watch the sun coming up. Don't it feel messed up when not in love? Shadows dancing without you for the first time. My heart is open as you walk right in tonight. Tell me there are things that you regret. 'Cause if for me it all is like you'll be here. That's all I'm asking. Either too much to ask. Shadows dancing without you for the first time. My heart is open as you walk right in tonight. Tell me there are things that you regret. 'Cause if for me it all is like you'll be here. Shadows dancing without you for the first time. My heart is open as you walk right in tonight. Tell me there are things that you regret. 'Cause if for me it all is like you'll be here. That's all I'm asking. You're too much to ask. That's all I'm asking. You're too much to ask. That's all I'm asking. Is it too much to ask?
Yeah, what a beautiful
Hey,
song.
very good, very good.
Okay, very good. Yeah,
It's all right.
Just positive.
Having signed his solo deal in 2016,
Oh, I love that song. I truly did. I think the orchestra, not hearing the original, I'm sure it's a very nice song without the, but that orchestra composition, the background, just adds a level of soulness to it and spirituality to it that it just touches me. I love string instruments. I love how they sound. I love the emotions they can elicit in you. Yeah. And I truly love that song. And in our chat there, we get indications that this is available on Spotify. So I can't believe you and I have been adding One Direction and solo acts from the band on our playlist as we react, because we can only do that to the songs we've reacted to. But these are, I mean, this performance was beautiful and amazing, and Nile is really, well, I would say growing even stronger on me with every time we see him live. It seems like.
Yeah, something I noticed at the very beginning of the performance of that song, and the camera cut away too quick, so I couldn't tell if it was true, but it looked like his eyes were kind of watering up a little bit as he started, and I imagine just the overwhelming emotion of, here I am in Ireland playing with Irish people, that are covering me, and kind of like his program. I'm sure that kind of hit him at that moment. So I wanted the camera to cut back so I could see if it was true, but I think his eyes looked like they were glassy.
Sure.
Yeah.
We also got in our comments that yes, Niall, the reason why he was not nervous, but he is very humble, and I like how he expressed like, no, I have money. I mean, you can Google. You can Google it, so it's not a mystery.
Yeah.
You know, he's worth whatever he's worth, but he's like, but I don't need to spend it. And apparently, he rides the bus still, like public transit in Ireland and what have you. So he's worth 70 million. Is that all?
Just
give me
70.
Give me a call when you're worth 100, there, brother. Anyways, good for him. Like he's able to do whatever he wants now, and that's the beauty of all these guys doing their solo stuff is they've all made mint from One Direction. So good for them. Like we said before, I think that they did their Marvel franchise. They did their Marvel. They got rich. They're famous. Good. Now they got. Now I can do some of my independent films and things closer to the heart, as you would say. And it's nice to see that what's closer to their heart is just that much better stuff. It appears. It's just
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
All right, continuing.
Niall went straight to work on writing and recording his first album.
Thank you, everybody. Paper Houses, one more time.
Flicker was released in October 2017, and anyone waiting for One Direction 2.0 was in for a bit of a surprise, which, while great, has to have been just a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, you like, no matter what sort of an album you're releasing, you're always, and people, if they try and tell you that they're not nervous, they're lying, because how are you to know? You live with these songs for, like, I started writing my album in March 2016, and, you know, and I've been living with those songs right up until I released it last October, so, you know, there's people that will tell you they're good within your camp and blah, 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 but you don't know what your fan is going to think when it's released, so you're literally sitting on eggshells until it's out.
Pause it.
And, yeah, I was nervous.
Sorry, I didn't want to comment on stuff. I like how he said, boy, this guy is I really like this guy. He just admits, like, yeah, people in your camp, oh, yeah, it's great. He acknowledges that's fine. Like, it's like, basically, he doesn't care what his people say.
Yeah.
He knows it's the public that will be the verdict. And because you get some of these pop stars, whatever artists. Like, I heard, like, for example, Beyonce's last album was a complete bomb. Like, it would just bomb, for example. And I wonder if the people around her were like, oh, yeah, it's great, it's fantastic.
The yes people, yeah.
Yeah. Literally, you almost hire people to tell you yes. And it seems like Niall, though I'm sure his people were telling the truth, like, no, we've really got something here. He's not saying that their opinion's not valid. He's just saying, hey, the people close to me, the people that he probably trusts and loves, sure, because he's not the type of person to buy a posse like some artists do, like buy his friendships. Yeah. I'm just saying that he recognizes, hey, that's great that the people close to me recognize it or say that it's good. But I'm going to wait till the public gives the verdict. Like people like the Welp channel. I think he's referring to the Welp. He's referring.
Well, I was just going to say, like, that's like, it's echoing in one of my favorite quotes from a guy named Randy Pausch, who said he gave some quotes before he died of cancer, and one of the things he said was, your critics are the people who still love you, who still tell you that they care. You know, the people who will tell you whatever you want aren't necessarily the ones who love you, but the ones who are willing to breach that barrier of, like, this is going to be uncomfortable and I'm going to tell you what I think, but it's because it's out of care and love. So you have a joke. I know you got a joke. Just tell your joke. What? What? Oh, me? No, it's good to me. I don't have a joke. Just tell it. Just say the joke.
No, it's not a joke. It's a question. So this guy didn't do any quotes after he died of cancer?
You're terrible.
The quote pile dried up?
Oh, gee.
But the reaction that I got and from all over the world was amazing.
You as a front man, like at 1D, there's, there was pyrotechnics and moving stages, and there's 5 years, and there's a band, and all this stuff. But with you, like some of the songs we're going to hear today, I'm thinking like Paper Houses, Flicker, This Town. It kind of demands attention. There's no other distractions. Did you have to relearn like your stagecraft as a frontman?
Oh, big time. It was a bit of a shock to the system the first night. When I played my first gig, I played at the Olympia. And the album hadn't come out. I was just playing, 13 songs to a crowd who had never heard anything before.
Like us.
Scary. Definitely.
A reaction crowd.
I was very nervous before that. And was for a few gigs, because you're just screaming because I'm there. So they're not really, I don't know if anyone actually listened to the first few songs.
He's very self-aware.
Yes.
I definitely had to, like, learn the craft. Before we were bouncing off each other, there was all different corners of the stage. Now it's literally a mic stand. I don't move from this exact spot for an hour and a half now. Now I have to stand there and go back to where I was in my head when I wrote the songs every time I performed them, or it just looked fake.
Maestro.
Very self-aware. I really like that about Niall. He's doesn't take anything for granted.
Yeah. No. I agree. Yeah, no, we haven't heard this one.
We have a request for this one coming up, but a different version. So, yeah.
You keep saying that you're alright, but I can see it through your fake smile. You're not. There's a reservoir in your eyes that you've been holding back a long time. What's wrong? Darling, you don't have to hold it. You don't have to be afraid. You can go ahead and unload it, 'cause you know it'll be okay. Fire away. Fire away. Hold me close but at a distance, thinking I don't ever listen, but I do. Know sometimes it gets confusing. You might be lost, but I ain't losing you. Darling, you don't have to hold it. You don't have to be afraid. You can go ahead and unload it, 'cause you know it'll be okay. Fire away. Fire away. Fire away. Fire away. And I will steady your hand when you loosen your grip. And even if I don't understand, you can talk to me. And I will steady your hand when you loosen your grip. And even if I don't understand, you can talk to me. Fire away. Fire away. Fire away. Fire away. Oh, fire away.
Oh, I love that it built to this. And far away.
far away. That was great. Yeah.
I love, like, both you and I, we always love songs that build
Yes.
over time. And that was great because it started without strings. It actually started without really stripped down, and then it added the strings, and the drums started to build, and then that guitar solo was really, really nice, actually. You could see he was really enjoying it. Like this huge grin on his face as he's playing that. He was just like, yeah, just that feeling of, I'm sure he's not used to playing with a huge orchestra behind him. So it's probably like a bit of a journey for himself to feel that, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's cool. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful solo. And yes, this is his band. Just like Harry Styles has had a few members that are pretty much in his band all the time. This is also Niall's band. This is his band that play with him, sing all his background, the guitar solo. Like, for example, the guitarist's name is Jake. Like
Jake. Right.
Ellie in our chat knew that that's the name. These are the people in his band, which I love. That I like. Nothing against studio players. Like, that's fine. Like, some artists have rotating, studio session players, tour players, whatever it is. But I like the idea that whoever's playing on the album plays live next to you. I like that I like that solidarity in the band where, yeah, sure, it's Niall Horan band, but it's the same guys that are playing on the album or touring. I really like that. And there's also a violinist that tours with them, so that's very cool. That's what I like that. Of course, band members, every band come and go. Very few stay together for 30, 40 years, but I like the idea that whoever's playing this song right now, that the majority of them, if not all of them, were on the album as well, which I like.
It's very cool.
Yeah. All right, this is going by very quickly. So let's see what he has to say in this next little interview part.
Okay.
Lovely.
Bravo, Jake on guitar. Excellent.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Great.
So Long didn't make the album, but we're hearing it today.
Yeah.
So was that written after the album, or was it just it
What?
just didn't make the cut?
Yeah, production-wise, I couldn't get it right. I really liked the song, and I really wanted to. I actually half wrote it for Ollie Murs.
Really?
Weirdly enough, yeah.
For who?
Well, I kind of, I said to him, "Do you want
Bruno
I kind of
Mars?
missed the deadline for his. I'd written this song too late, and I'd missed the deadline for his album. But
Ollie Murs.
Yeah, no, I
Ollie Murs.
really enjoyed the song, and I could never get the production right for it when I wanted.
I've never heard of that
I
artist.
recorded it with 2 different producers. We couldn't get it right, and I just wasn't comfortable with putting something on the album that was going to stand out. And I just played it in rehearsals one day, and then the band just started joining in with me, and we've made basically a new version of the song that I didn't think was possible. And I love playing it. I wrote the song on the piano, so I'll sit down and play it on that. I'm not the greatest pianist of all time. There's no Mozart in here, but or like a Chris Martin, but I'll get up and give it my best. And, suppose it'll have to do, but yeah, it's a song that I really like playing. It's good live, and yeah, I'm kind of upset.
I'm so immature. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I wanted to say something a little bit. All joke aside. Oh, I want to hear that. Okay, so the little I know about music writing is a lot of singer-songwriters who do play piano. See, that's why I never say pianist, because it is a silly word, but it just reminds me of when I was a kid. I always just say piano player, because then I just never chuckle. Anyways, I know, it's so stupid. Anyway, I certainly don't have the greatest pianist. So,
Penis.
Okay. I just want to say a lot of singer-songwriters, they do originally play or compose the songs. They end up even be like rock and roll songs or big production songs are on the piano. They're often composed because the piano, like, it holds all the notes of all the instruments. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that's the genesis of a lot of song building. Okay.
It's easiest to find kind of like the root of the song on piano, or like an acoustic guitar. I find a lot of guitarists begin there, and then they can kind of branch out from that. Yeah.
I've always wanted to play. It's one of those things on my bucket list where we actually have a nice keyboard in our house, like a keyboard piano in our house, and they have so many apps now. I really just need to just simple. I've dabbled in the piano, and I don't think I have a real knack for it, but I just love the piano so much.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a real full piano in our house too, but
oh wow!
Like, I go and play it as if I go play it. Anyway,
all right. Yeah, it's good. I love that, and I love keyboard sounds. So it sounds like right now we got some keyboards, right? Like the keyboard of the piano sound, the piano keyboard sound. I love that sound. Okay. Yeah.
looking back through changes where we started from.
I thought he said he wasn't good.
Yeah.
You, but I knew
Not a very
it
good
was
piano
wrong.
player, and he's killing it.
You know I kept a place for you in my mind, and I know you did the same, 'cause you're just that kind.
Kind of reminds me of Elton John
So if
sound.
you all alone, why did it take so long? We know that since we were young, so why did it take so long? You know you make me feel love, you make me feel like I'm home. So if you all alone, why did it take so long? Moving on, you and I.
Oh, did not see this coming.
Now we've got to make up for all the wasted time. You know I never let you just walking by. From the day that I met you, I knew you'd be mine. So if we knew all along, why did it take so long? You know that since we were young, why did it take so long?
Oh, the bass player's a good-looking guy too.
You know you make me feel love, make me feel like I'm home. So if we knew all along, why did it take so long?
I know. I'm kind of into the harp player myself. There she is.
I wasn't sexually attracted to him. I just say he's a good-looking guy. Gee.
I'm having trouble believing it's true.
Ellie in the chat.
Why did it take so long? You know that since we were young, so why did it take so long? You know you make me feel love, make me feel like I'm home. So if you knew all along, why did it take so long? 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 Why did it take so long?
Very good. Good. That felt really good. Niall?
Perfect.
That was a good one.
That's the best one.
Super. Super.
It's probably weird for him to be in a
believe you
room full
proclaimed
of
it as your
people,
favourite song.
finish a song,
Why
and
is
have
your
nobody
favourite
clap. Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the question on that.
Just
sorry.
the way
go
it
back,
came
go back
out.
10 seconds.
I'll go
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Like room full of people, nobody there can clap because they've all just got instruments in their hand.
Sure.
Right. No. Anyway.
No, I mean that's.
Super. Super.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't want to say anything about the song that we
Believe you
just heard.
proclaimed
Yeah,
it.
that's.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
that-
you have
this is
something?
what-
Did you have something to say there?
Well, this
Oh,
is
did-
a
did you-
this
did you
is
mean
the
to, like,
reaction
talk
channel.
over top
and
of you?
somebody actually paid money for us to share our thoughts on this. I think that is my favorite Nile song that
Is
I've
it?
heard so far.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just touched all the feels. I love the build up. Love the keyboard playing. I love that. I love the piano sound of that song. It hits all the Ryan feels of what makes a song for me a good song. And and the orchestra behind this. I guess I'm only got to hear the Spotify version because I don't know if I want to go to the non-orchestra version of these songs because there's the string arrangement is just so beautiful and it adds to these songs in particular. Maybe they're not. I don't know if they do them for every single song on the album. I'm not sure, but I just love how it adds that spiritual ambient sound to this. And good stuff. Good stuff. I'm a fan of Nile. Absolutely.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Sorry, I guess I didn't say anything either. I was just cutting you off just to be jerk.
And people are saying that it is quiet because I thought they're recording for the album that will get on Spotify. So this is the recording session.
Okay.
So they're treating it like an actual, nobody's like, all right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So if they wanted to clap, they can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Inside, they're flooding their eyes like this for clapping.
That's what I do whenever I have to listen to your rant.
Okay.
I'm clapping while you're ranting.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
Is your favorite song? Why is it your favorite song?
The one we just heard?
Just the way it came about, I knew what I wanted to say about the song for a long time. And then the way it was recorded, I remember talking to the guy who produced some of the album, Jakir King. And he was like, okay, tomorrow when we come in, we would usually spend, when we recorded the album, we would spend a couple of days on each song with the live band. And he said, okay, tomorrow we're going to do Flicker. And I kind of went quiet. And he was like, why, what's wrong? And I was like, well, we need to be just a little bit more careful and a bit more delicate with how we record this, because this is the kind of song that can be very easily overdone or done very badly. So it was great the way we recorded it. We did 2 or 3 takes with the band. And then after that, we kind of sat in silence, and Jakir came across the desk and said, I think we all need to kind of go and take a break, because it was quite a moment, and it was one.
Shakira?
We recorded 20-odd songs, but that one just kind of
Shakira came
as the moment in making the album. And every time that I sing it now, sing it live, really.
Who's the producer that?
Shakira?
The strings still, and I hope that doesn't end, because
that's what he said. Like he said, Shakira came across the desk.
Then if it's bringing you back to where you were when you wrote it.
Flicker one more time all the way through, please.
Oh, so we're hearing Flicker. Okay, is this the first single from the album or something, or the name of the album? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Title track. Yeah.
I like that little pick.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel your love's been taken, when you know there's something missing in the dark, we're barely hanging on. Then you rest your head upon my chest, and you feel like there ain't nothing left. I'm afraid that what we had is gone. Then I think of the start, and it echoes as far. I remember the magic electricity. Then I look in my heart, there's a light in the dark. Still a flicker of hope that you first gave to me, that I wanna keep. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. When you lay there and you're sleeping, hear the patterns of your breathing, and I tell you things you never heard before. Asking questions to the ceiling, never knowing what you're thinking. I'm afraid the what we had is gone. Then I think of the start, and the echoes of spark. I remember the magic electricity. And I look in my heart, there's a light in the dark. Still a flicker of hope that you first gave to me, that I want you. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. I want this
first time I've seen the French horn. There.
Last so long, and I think of the start, and it echoes as far. And I remember the magic electricity, and a look in my heart, with a light in the dark. Till a flicker of hope that you first came through. And I want you. Please don't leave. Please don't leave.
Wow, what a very just a very lovely experience. This whole session. Imagine that was your day at work. All right, well, I guess gotta play the violin for Nile. I guess you gotta to feel that just that calm. It just makes you feel good. I mean that's very telling. If a song makes you feel good inside, there's something to be said for that. And I guess the older I get too, and I'm just tired of anger and the nastiness in the world. It's just nice to hear good sounds and have good feelings and just enjoy the beautiful things in life. And he's a kid, it's just a young kid to me, just providing this very deep, soulful art. And obviously he has a love for the 70s because this is a 70s production sound. There is this. Yes. This could have been a release. There's a couple parts that were a little bit more modern sounding, like the dun part, but everything else was. This is a 1970s folk rock song.
Yeah, like Neil Diamond, James Taylor kind of a sound. It felt that kind of cozy, and like you say, that recording sound was even there too. That kind of deeper, resonant kind of sound. I liked it. I would. This will tell you plenty. I would recommend my parents listen to this too. My parents would love this. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they would. I mean, if you were to put it on, just an audio, not to say they would, because it's a young person, especially to them. I mean, he's young to us. He's he's a baby to them. But just say, hear this old song. I want you to hear this old song. And and then show them this is who it is. It's a kid from One Direction, and they'd be like, what? So. But yeah, I mean that's the amazing thing. I mean, obviously Nile is just killing it. I
hit the Nile on the head apparently when I said that.
No, I think it was me. They're talking about me.
Oh. It's all about me.
I don't know who they're referring to. We both did. We both are equally amazing. All right, so Nathan, as always, it's a pleasure. Ellie, thank you so much for putting together your video, piecing together the parts that I guess this is the highlights for you, and this is what you want us. Yeah, Ellie, that was amazing, and according to our people in our chat, you slayed. I agree, and awesome stuff. Thank you so much. And if you want us to react, review something of your choice or what have you, just check out our Patreon.
Yeah, it's all there. Check it out, and see you in the next one.